what's up? Hello, my name is Emma and today I'm going to be reacting to your assumptions about me. I asked you guys on Instagram if you would send me your assumptions that you have made about me, and I'm going to be either confirming them or denying them today, and I'm super hyped for this video. You were a diva growing up. Yes, I was the absolute worst when I was a child. I was so bitchy to absolutely everyone when I was younger, even my friends and family. Like, I was one of those kids where it was like, it's my way or the highway, and I was a total diva about it if you were doing something I didn't like. I'm so glad I grew out of that as I got older because I was like a terror to be around when I was younger. You're an extrovert. I don't know why I got so many people telling me that they think I'm an extrovert on this because I am so not. I am such a strong introvert. I get all of my energy from being alone, and although I do enjoy being social and going out and hanging out with friends and whatnot, it's very draining for me and I need a lot of time to recuperate. That's what being an introvert is, and an extrovert is the opposite. So I just like, I don't get how I give off that vibe because I think you look at me and you're like, this is a girl who like spends her Friday nights at home, because that's what I do. You don't want kids. That's a difficult one to answer because like in theory, I would love to have kids. I would love to have a family and like bring up children that I'm really proud of. But I'm a big realist when it comes to like planning out my future, and just at the current point I am in my life right now, I just like don't foresee me ever being in a position where I would be able to raise children. I think a lot of that derives from financial insecurity. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to be in a position where I would be able to purchase my own home, and I just don't ever see myself being comfortable enough to be able to financially support children and like give them a life that like I would be happy providing for them. So do I want kids? Yeah, sure. And definitely like as I grow older and become more of an adult, it might become more foreseeable, but like where I'm at right now, it just like doesn't seem plausible for me to dream about. You are exactly the same off camera. I mean, I think so. I don't put on a facade or like step into a different persona for BookTube. Like, I feel like I'm being totally myself right now. I just always say that like BookTube brings out different parts of my personality where I'm much more enthusiastic and excited and positive and happy because I'm talking about something I really love. But in other settings, like when I'm just like hanging at home with my friends or at school or at work, like those things won't be as prominent. But I'd say generally, I think I act the same off camera, but that's more for like other people to decide, I guess. You find it draining mentally to be on social media sometimes. Sometimes, all the time. I love social media. I love what the internet has done for me, but definitely the amount of energy I exert into social media is very, very draining for me. Like, there are times where I'm like, I can't deal with all of the stuff that's going on online and I have to take a break, but there are also times where I just like can't get myself out of the social media hole, so I've started like setting timers and limits for myself every day, which has been really helping. But yeah, like I would love to go on like a full social media detox. I think it would be really good for me, but I do still like it enough that like I'm gonna put up with it every day. You want to write a book one day. I would love to write a book one day. I have had an idea that is very solidified in my mind for like years now. I have so much of it developed and planned, but I just don't know how to write. I don't understand anything about the craft of writing, and I'm the type of person where I really want to like study writing structure and research how to write a novel before actually giving a go at it. You're shorter in real life than you seem on video. This is a really subjective thing on the internet. Like, when you only see this much of me, I guess you can't really gauge how tall I am. I'm like 5'6". I say, here's a clip of me standing next to my bookshelf in full body, so maybe you can get a better idea of how tall I am. I'm pretty average height though. You had curly hair when you were younger. I don't really consider my hair curly. I consider it like not nice wavy because it's not consistent. I never let my hair dry naturally. I haven't seen my natural hair in years. I either blow dry it or I leave it to dry in braids. Here is a clip from a video I filmed a few years ago where I like went to sleep on my wet hair. That's like the closest you'll ever get to it though. You live with your boyfriend. I do not actually live with my boyfriend, although Doug has like basically lived at my house for a lot of our relationship in recent years, where he'll just be over for like days and days and days at a time. We definitely do not live together, as this past January, Doug actually made the decision to move back to England. So he is currently living in England while I'm in New York. Big change, yeah. I know. It's been really difficult at times, but like we talk every day, we FaceTime basically every day. I'm going to visit him in August, which I'm super hyped about. And the thing that makes it easier is like this is not a forever thing. He is living there for an undisclosed amount of time, but when he feels ready, he's gonna move back to New York and things will be like nothing ever happened. So that's just a thing that we have to deal with for now, and it'll all be okay. You cook a lot. That could not be farther from the truth. I do not cook at all. I am not good at it, and I put in no effort to hone my skills. When it comes to like a nice, well-rounded, well-put-together meal, like you will not find it from me. You only ever listen to Lil Peep and nothing else. I mean, it's kind of a stretch, but it's also like not really a stretch. My music taste is dominated by Lil Peep. I am like slowly trying to collect every single song he's ever created off the internet. My current playlist is at like 300 songs, and it is like definitely what I listen to the most. My relationship with music is kind of weird because in middle school and high school, I was like so into music. Music was my life. And then as I got into college and whatnot, I just like didn't put as much energy into like listening to like specific bands and artists and whatnot. And I've just like sort of picked from songs I like over the years. I was massively into electronic music for all of my teenagehood. And now that I pole dance, I listen to a lot of like pop and hip hop and R&B because I like to choreograph routines in my head when listening to music. But Lil Peep is definitely at the heart of it. Like I listen to Lil Peep every single day without fail. I have my music divided into like different moods. So I have like my sad Peep playlist, my angry Peep playlist, my hype Peep playlist. So it would be untruthful to say I only listen to him, but like mostly. You eat really healthy. I definitely don't. Any form of restriction, even if it is like junk food and fast food and things that like aren't very nutritious, it's like a one-way ticket to eating disorder relapse for me. So I've just like learned over the years, I just can't do that. I try to eat intuitively, and like that does sound like very simple, like, oh yeah, you eat what you want. But being very intuitive with your hunger cues and what your cravings are is like a true skill that takes a lot of work to refine. So it's something I always am working on. But like, if I want a burger, I will get a burger. If I want a salad, I will get a salad. And the goal is that neither of these are better or worse than the other. I just eat it because that's what I want, and it seems to work out really good for me. You don't like it when fans message you. That's not true. I love getting messages from whoever. I know it's like not necessarily easy to always get messages to me because I have my DMs closed in a lot of places, but like I do enjoy getting messages and reading through them. The fault is that like I just physically cannot reply to all of them, and I also won't always be able to guarantee that I've seen it. So I do appreciate messages even if I can't reply to them very frequently. The only types that really set me off are when someone is like, hi, can we talk more and become friends because I really like your videos? Because typically like I don't know the person all that well, even if we've interacted online a few times, and it just puts me in a really uncomfortable position. I'm sure with many people we would have a lot in common and we would be really good friends, but I just can't make the promise of friendship to everyone who asks, especially when like I just don't know a lot of people personally. I just need these things to develop organically, and it does make the distance and the power dynamic between viewer and creator more apparent, and so like I'll never feel like fully comfortable as a result of that. But overall, any messages I receive, whether you just want to say you really like my videos or you read a good book because of me and you really enjoyed it, if you want to share like what's going on in your life or anything like mental health related, like I'm super open to receiving those and reading those and replying when I can. You are one of the OG booktubers. I definitely do not consider myself an OG booktuber because I started my channel because of other booktubers. I was definitely not one of the original. I like to think of it as we have like 3 different generations of booktube. We have like the OG first generation, which is like Jessie, Kat, Christine, Reagan, Sasha. Then you have the second generation, which I'd consider myself to be a part of, and like people who have started around the same time as me and like the friends that I've really built up my channel with. And then there's the third generation, which are like the newer booktubers that are currently growing in our community. And I think that's really awesome because it shows like how close-knit our community is, that like we can organize it that way. I just find it really interesting. You're scared that as someone in recovery, trying to help others in the future will make you relapse. Definitely not. For one, I've been in recovery for like 7 years at this point, and by the time I'm practicing and actually helping people as a counselor, it'll be 10 years in recovery, which is so wild. So firstly, I have a super strong foundation built over like a full decade before I'm gonna be actually working with clients. And also as a student, as someone who's currently training to become a counselor, this is part of our curriculum and what we learn. We learn the importance of taking care of ourselves and managing our own mental health before we can even start helping others, and also how to not take our work home with us and let us affect us. So there's like so much training and preparation for that involved in my program that like I'm confident it won't be a huge struggle once I'm actually in the field. You're super good at time management and you hate being late for things. This is half true because I am pretty good at time management. Like I almost always get everything I need to done on time, but I'm always late to everything. School, work, hanging out with friends, appointments, whatnot. I am always fucking late to everything. My fatal flaw is that I just don't factor in like being 5 minutes early to anything. Like if I have class at 5:25, like that means I'm leaving my house with enough time to pull into the parking lot of school at 5:25. I'm trying to work on it and trying to get it handled, but I am just perpetually late to absolutely everything. You constantly wear black leggings. How could you tell? Black leggings are real pants. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. They are super comfy. They always fit. They go with absolutely everything. You're always open to try new things. I would disagree. I don't think I'm very open to trying new things, but I definitely am a little bit more adventurous when I'm with other people. I stick to what I know I enjoy most of the time, but when I'm out with like friends and stuff, I'm definitely more interested in like trying new food or going new places and new experiences and whatnot. You're a vegan. Definitely not. I love the idea of being a vegan. I really support the movement, and I do try to make more vegan friendly choices in certain areas of my life, but it's just not realistic for me. Like with my current attitudes towards food, I just don't foresee veganism being a healthy thing for me. And while totally there are substitutes out there, and like I do enjoy getting vegan food with my vegan friends and whatnot, but the fact is like I would never be satisfied. I would be miserable all the time eating substitutes and things that would not really fulfill me mentally. And so that's my reasoning. People disagree with it, but I just know that it's like not something that is realistic for me at this point. You like reality shows. I do. I am not good at watching TV, as many of you know. I just like never continue with a series ever, but like reality shows are like fun and easy to consume, and there's been a lot of favorites over the years. I grew up on Project Runway. I love Dance Moms. I've been a hoe for Jersey Shore since I was 13, and it has not changed at 22. I don't watch them all the time like a lot of people, but they do bring me some joy. You hate group work in class. Yes, I fucking hate group work so much. No matter how much additional work I make for myself by working alone, I will choose that over group work every day. Sometimes I'm afraid I like offend my classmates because the second the professor gives us the choice to work alone or work in a group, I am working alone, and I'm always afraid they're gonna think it's because like I don't like them or I don't want to work with them, but it's just because I have very strong opinions about my schoolwork and I want things exactly the way I want them, and I don't like relinquishing that control to other people. I also don't like depending on other people for grades, like because I've been in so many situations where the professor has forced me into a group with people who like don't do anything. It makes me really resentful about working with anyone because I just don't trust them to get the work done. So I will always work alone. I hate group work. I probably should like become a little bit more okay with it, but for now, like it's a hard pass on group work. You're not straight. This is something I disclosed on my Curious Cat a couple of months ago, but like I'm aware like no one saw it, so I'm just gonna reiterate it, but I am still like not super comfortable with this and it's very new to me, so this isn't the video for me to get super into it. So I'm sorry I'm not willing to answer the many questions I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have, but for now I'm comfortable saying I am not straight, I'm queer, and I'm very hopeful I can get myself into a position where I can talk more openly about that in the future after I've done some more personal work. You aren't close with your sister, that's why we haven't seen her on your channel. I do wish I was closer with my sister. Like I love my sister and I have so much fun hanging out with her. It's just that I don't get to see her super frequently, and like both of us aren't great texters. But when we're together, it's really good. Sometimes people think when you're a YouTuber, if you like don't talk about someone frequently or if they're like not in your videos, then you're not super close to them. But that's not true. My sister is just like not into YouTube. That's not her thing. So she's not like the first person I would call up to like film a video with. You feel like you have to read certain books even if they don't interest you? Absolutely not. I have friends and I know a ton of people in this community where they're like, I know this book is absolute garbage and I'm going to read it anyways because I think it'll be funny or I get enjoyment out of critiquing it. And I think that's all fair and valid. It's just that like I would never want to spend time on a book I didn't really think I had the potential to love. I'm just like super picky with what I read and when I want to read it. And if I like don't think that like this book is going to really be enjoyable to me in this moment, like I will not pick it up. There's so many books out there that are super hyped and so many people love, and I definitely am like, like I wish I understood what people were talking about, but I do not care enough to invest my time into reading it if I don't think I would personally love it. You had a hella scene phase and it still lives in you. I definitely went through a scene phase. It was not the most shocking scene phase to have graced the internet, but you know, like ripped jeans under tutus and raccoon stripe extensions in my hair, like it was a thing I went through. I wouldn't necessarily say it like prominently lives in me. I definitely think a lot of what was established in my life at that time has carried into like my sense of style and my sense of music, but you know, we all went through something at one point or another. There's no reason to cringe over it. You don't like to party. Although I am an introvert, I do enjoy like going out and having a good time with my friends. I went to a lot of parties in high school and I have like really great memories of those, but definitely as like my friend group dwindled and I got into college, it like wasn't a super common occurrence that happened in my life. And I would like to go out more than I do now, but it's also not something that's like super important to me. I just like enjoy going to parties. You like pole dancing more than hoop dancing. That's definitely true. I do still love hoop dance. I do it pretty frequently at home. I just don't post it online, which makes people think that like I've stopped, but like I still do hoop. I just don't really put effort into it anymore. Like I haven't learned a new trick in years at this point, and I put way more of my energy and effort into pole dancing because I find it more rewarding. Pole is just more challenging for me, therefore there's a greater reward to get at the end of it, and I've just been like more passionate about pole than I am with hooping. It's not like I've turned my back on it, it's just that like I want to focus my energy into a different form of dance and fitness. You got some beef with some booktubers. I mean, like, I have. I've definitely been involved in like more than a few online arguments, but I don't even know if I would necessarily consider that beef because I feel like it's not really exclusive to booktubers. And I've definitely experienced people talking shit about me, whether it's something that I'm able to come to on my own, or if someone is like, hey, I just want to let you know this person was talking negatively about you. But I also don't really consider that beef because like it's gonna happen when you have a community of people working together closely. There's been at least one case of like true beef between me and some other booktubers, but there's just no point in rehashing that because it was dealt with maturely and we've all moved on with our lives. But also, it's like, it's booktube. Like, none of this is that deep. Let's just stick with the people that we like in the community, and if you don't like someone, you just give them their distance, and if you have to interact, be polite about it, and then we can all move on with our lives, and it's a great thing. Booktube drama isn't a foreign concept. It occurs all the time. I just feel like it doesn't typically involve me or my friends, and like that's the way I'm satisfied. You only started to love England after you met Doug. That is actually so incorrect. I feel like I've always really loved England and the UK. Like, I grew up loving Harry Potter. Like, my favorite YouTubers back in the day were all British. And then when I started watching Doctor Who in 9th grade, I became really obsessed with England, and it was just like a constant part of my life. And so therefore, when Doug and I started dating, there was actually a rumor going around that I was only dating him because he was like the only British guy in our school and had an accent. So some people thought Doug was actually a product of my obsession with England as opposed to the catalyst. You miss your long hair. I do. I'm trying to grow it out again. I don't think I would grow it out that long to the point where it was like really far down my back and getting caught in the car door every single day. I definitely don't miss the maintenance because it would take me so long to blow dry it and straighten it and just manage it every single day, and shorter hair has been a breeze for that. But I really miss the way the long hair looked. I loved that I could do so many more things with my hair back then. Like, I'm much more restricted with it being shorter. So we'll see how long I can grow it out to this time. You love avocados. You could not be more wrong. I hate avocados. I think they are so disgusting. They're probably one of my least favorite foods I've ever eaten. I would rather get punched in the face than eat even part of an avocado. I'm being serious. You are very hard on yourself with your studies. I am super hard on myself with my studies. I had a crying-filled session with my therapist the other day because I was feeling so inadequate as a student. But like, everything's okay now. I've always been pretty hard on myself with my studies. Number one, because I've like always gotten good grades and I was always on honor roll in school and the dean's list in college. But I'm especially critical of myself when it comes to subjects I'm really passionate about. And like, now that I'm a grad student and I'm like paying so much money to study what I have been working for like the last 16 years of my education, I'm incredibly hard on myself. I mean, it could be worse. Like, the fact that I am a good student and do get good grades and finish everything on time really does help me deal with it, because like, I know I'll be okay in the end. But it's definitely something I'm trying to work on, and like, this semester I'm really focused on relaxing and not stressing myself out as much, and like, we'll see how that goes. You don't like concerts. I love concerts. I really wish I went to more concerts. I went to so many concerts in high school. They were like one of the highlights of me being a teen, was going to concerts with my friends. As I've gotten less invested in specific artists, I have been going to less concerts, and also I don't like spending money on concerts. Like, I've been really spoiled in high school where like all of the tickets I bought were like $30 to $50, and now like if I want to see someone at Madison Square Garden or Barclays Center, I have to pay like upwards of $100. So that's definitely discouraging, but I would like to go to way more concerts because it's something that's always brought me a ton of joy. You've kissed a girl. I have. You were really popular in high school because you were so pretty. That's really sweet. Unfortunately, my high school was not as kind. I was not popular in school at all. I had my super emo scene phase in middle school, and then throughout the rest of high school, I had like pretty distinct, like close-knit friend groups up until my senior year when I was a total isolated loner. So I never delved into the realms of popularity. I think I was like generally well-liked and I didn't have a ton of enemies, but like, I was average. I was definitely not popular though. You don't like some of the books publishers pay you to promote, but you still say you like them. I really hope this isn't like a genuine assumption about me and it's just like someone trying to get tea on how publishers work with booktubers, because that is so wrong. Firstly, the vast majority of books I do sponsorships for are books I have not read. Like, they're sent to me right before release date. Like, I don't even have time to read them a lot of the time. I'm mostly just saying like, here's this book that just came out, here's the synopsis, I'm interested in reading it and you should pick it up if you want to. Like, there's not even a lot of area for me to give you my personal opinion. But even after the sponsorship is done and like I do get to reading some of these books, I've been totally open and honest about it. Like, a lot of books I've been sponsored have been like my favorites, and I am open when I don't like them. Here's a stack of books that I was either paid to include in a video or paid to read, and like, they became absolute favorites of mine that I've recommended multiple times on my channel. But then there's this stack of books that I was paid to promote in some capacity that I either did not like and express that on my channel, or like I didn't even finish The 1000th Floor. I DNF'd it because I didn't like it, and like, I'm totally open to saying that. But either way, I've never felt afraid or felt influenced by the publisher to say a certain thing about a book I've been paid to promote. It's usually I'm interested in it, or I tell you my genuine thoughts afterwards, and that's like the same for any book I read, sponsored or not. You are a really good driver. I'm acceptable. I'm not a bad driver. Like, I don't endanger other drivers, and I'm not someone who like gets into a lot of crashes or hits things a lot. I just don't think I necessarily have the best driving skills. I do drive a lot, so I think I have improved, which like, I guess is just natural for driving for many years. But you know, I'm not good, I'm not bad, I'm just like, okay. I do probably have friends that would be like, Emma, you're a shit driver. Is there a chance that you may possibly be a secret TikTok e-girl? What's an e-girl? Like, I've never heard of that before. I don't really know what that consists of, or what would an e-girl even really look like? Thanks to whoever sent me that and let me get it out of my system, because I feel like it's been building up for a couple of months. So that concludes my video on reacting to your assumptions about me. Thanks again to everyone who sent me assumptions, and in the comments below, I'd be really curious to know if like you expected my answers, if you were surprised by them, or if you have any further assumptions about me. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!